There's one thing to be said. What Sarah shared about feeling like a child when we all met the Mimsies, we really couldn't figure out why they were so excited that contact had been made. But why contact had been made was that the darkness wasn't as bright as the light. So from the shared field of wit, don't concentrate on what's not happened yet. Concentrate on what has. And you are not alone. The gathering today of some of you who have not had the experience and some of you who have is what I think C said in the beginning, or I heard her say to somebody. There's no way to really explain what it was like. But you could say, using the oil spill as an analogy, was they made it through the oil spill to us. And we could see how loved we were. And it was very embarrassing. I think embarrassing being the correct terminology. It was almost an embarrassment because we definitely didn't match their enthusiasm about being with us. In fact, we were perplexed, confused. We're not now. Probably still perplexed and confused, but we're still pretty excited they exist and we exist, and it's all great. It's all great some places, and it's all not great other places. But those places it is great is larger than the places it's not. So it's really all of you and others that are not on this call over these years, since 2009 in this sector, that have built a possibility for today. And because it would not have existed if we couldn't have remembered that we're loved. Even though we may not perceptively or cognitively be conscious of it, because we're still so dominated by something's wrong with us, and that we haven't met the measure of a reality of separation, and we could never meet that measure. Wrong world, wrong reality. So the final message, maybe we'll see, Tantra's idea that it might be, the final message is that you're loved. You've always been loved. One of the things the voices was interacting with me about on break was this constant confusion of not in other words, they are aware that our light is dim. They do not hold us to be accountable for our light being dim, because for them there's only light. And so clearly, if the light's dim here, it just needs them to come and bring more, reinfuse us basically. But there's no judgment. There's no what's wrong with you. It's just it's natural. Don't you do that? When someone's light's dimmed, don't you have a natural impulse to restore their light? It's just that simple, really. That's what it is to be reciprocal, simultaneous love. When we add the love, it makes for a problem. My favorite term, Tantra speaking, is that I'm in love. Doesn't mean I'm in love with. I'm just in love. Because that's where the reciprocal, simultaneous access of creation exists. perpetually, without measure. No assignments necessary. There's one more thing, but I got to see if I can bring it to mind. What's going to happen out of this is Christina and I'll make it into small files for you to have the title and the file available to you. You're welcome to share any of them with anybody that you'd like to do that. The people who share it, I'll get consent from. And if I don't have your consent, we'll simply take you out of the video and the audio. It's why we meaning the wit, it's why we had you share in breakout rooms, because breakout rooms aren't recorded. And this could also be available to people that you love and people that matter to you, or people that are missing a conversation that you feel the template within them would respond to this, just like those of you that came today. Your response mechanism had already occurred long before you got here. Remember? Reciprocal, simultaneous. And there is a request. Now, hold on. Just got to get to the actuality of the request. I'm not sure I can do a sentence yet. I had it and then I lost it. Just let me be with it a minute. Oh, I'm going to read what's behind me for a minute. I'm going to turn around. It's this painting. It's that right there. It's Tasha's to me. It says, hopefully you can hear me. I'll make sure the mic's up. There we go. It says, quantum field of humanity holds cohesion throughout all time space of here, now, paradise, earth, infinity embodied, is sustained and maintained by reaching out and weaving into the stable vector anchors woven with Mimsy magic. Reaching out and weaving into the stable vector anchors woven with Mimsy magic, sustained and maintained, is created by cohesive fields of humans, rising up as spirits consciously connected with the powers and forces that tend life on planet Earth. Cohesive fields of humans rising up as spirits consciously connected with powers and forces that tend life on planet Earth created is craved by human hearts, knowing they are standing within the pillars of Ma'at, where truth, justice, beauty, balance, harmony, symmetry, proportion is in the is ways of Isis and every goddess realm, active now on behold of all life, having home here now, paradise, earth, infinity. It's the template 7. And that brings me to my mind. While the Mimsies were the organizers of this event, one of the women that purchased and is not on the call, Teresa, she had texted me early this morning, and one of the groups of beings that have a dimensional address above Shasta, they carry these sarcophaguses that I have participated with, I Tantra, I have participated with since 2010. And in that sarcophagus, when it becomes available to me, to observe is to attain, I can take a DNA strand of the human being, give it to these beings that look a little bit like the creatures I don't remember the name of in Doctor Who, and they put it in a sarcophagus and rebuild the DNA in the area that is needed to have the original structure of the human body restored. And she was having trouble with her foot. And I thought it was no accident that she had asked to, she was trying to find the link here to get to donate. And I said, well, why don't we just bring your foot and your feet into the field? Because we don't know what's going to happen out of this. We don't know. No one knows what happens in metacognition. It's in metacognition, reality restores itself beyond the borders of separation, because it's simply metacognition. Behind the walls of separation don't exist. And it is the fundamental activity since that day, 1,000 faces, none of which were human, by the way, blew into a human skull. This has been occurring in this sector of creation. It would seem, in reading Tasha's template 7 part of it, that also the goddesses, planet Earth. So why don't you look in your own mind? Please do not share it. Please do not put it in the craving, in the chat, or raise your hand and share it. But for you, who's in your direct link, and whose direct link are you in? And just take a minute to savor that, to consider it. If you can't consider it as so, consider it as possibility. You know, Lily, who is not in body anymore, she and I still share our direct link with each other in the metacognition of our direct link with each other. In other words, it's a direct experience that I have a cognitive relationship with. It can be someone who's physically passed over. It can be so many things. So just take a moment, if you have a notepad or paper, jot it down. Don't worry about the parts of the mind that fragment the thought. Don't try to make sentences. Just jot down what comes to mind. And that gave me the ability to remember what I started this rendition of our last segment. And obviously, why we don't remember things, by the way, is other things are supposed to happen. in the so above, so below, be here now activity. How many of you've noticed that you don't have to raise your hand or anything, that your idea of what you should be doing with time and time's idea of what you should be doing with it are very dramatically different than the recent past? Also notice that sometimes you feel that the time from past to future has more importance than the moment of be here now. But that's part of the shift into the metacognitive nature of ourselves. Be here now is really metacognition, because all that's present is to be here now, and the doing and the thinking and the having, simply said. So the final thing that was made a request of by the they is anything you'd like us to know. Anything you'd like us to know before we go. So just go ahead and open up your mic. I'm going to put us on gallery.
So Tantra.
Yes.
It's Diane. There were some things that I had written down to share before we went on break, that had to do with in our group. It was like there was no time. It's like we just got started and we don't really want to end, although one person said maybe we could meet again next Saturday for 5 hours. But it was like, I don't feel tired. I don't feel worn out. I feel enlivened by what they have experienced today. It was also for each of us like the body, over and over again. It's the body that when I woke up this morning, everything was brighter. My cells were happy. They were jumping all around. I don't know, this has been an experience I've been having more and more with the body. That we felt deep gratitude for wit, for the coming together, and to be loved and loved in this field that is shared by all. And when I mean by all, I mean the Mimsies and you, and you being a conduit. It's just, I'm deeply grateful. I'm deeply grateful. Thank you. Thank you to all.
I'll have to find a euphemism for all. Because right now, when human beings say all, they have a limit to it. Yeah. Or they try to figure it out. That's the they talking. And but with a lighthearted humor attached.
So I feel the same way. I don't want it to end. I feel like I've begun a new Mimsy relationship. And I think for me it's to deepen the wisdom with how to be with my husband. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. By the way, it doesn't end.
Yeah, but
it doesn't end. There was one purpose and one purpose only today. That we all needed to get a job done, all of us. And our only job was to be in such a way that the metacognition of humanity and the capacity to reciprocally and simultaneously engage with the powers of forces of creation and whatever each of us is directly related to, increased its capacity in the human field. That was our only job. It wasn't to have a get-together, unless you all want to have a get-together. And I would recommend that you all meet for 5 hours next Saturday. But also notice that the odds of that being something that would happen is still limited, because in human beings, this is now the they, we talking, is that they look for something outside themselves to be the source of their direct experience. So frankly, I would take that group of 5. I would put yourselves on Zoom for 5 hours and go about your business, because you have kept a date with time. You don't have to sit and talk to each other. You don't have to do anything. You know, I had this friend in Ireland whose birthday, Niall, was actually the 22nd yesterday. And our deal is on the 22nd, he hangs out with me all day. That's our deal. So he hung out with me all day. It was lovely. I was a little, it was a little hard to be present. I spent the day wanting to collapse and sleep, because that holding that and moving around and the doing, thinking, having field has a certain challenge to it, but nothing ends. It really am serious. And it used to be when he was overseas and I was here, we just put our phones on, be about our day. Because the date is with time. The date is with time, be here now time. I think that may be the message that became available that wasn't available till this moment in the shared reciprocity of and the simultaneousness of Sarah and Diane. Jim?
Well, I just want to say amen to what y'all just said, you, they, as well as Diane. And gee, about today, you didn't know where this party was going to go. Neither did any of us, but we came along for the ride. And I'm so glad, because it should be comforting to know these things. And it is comforting to me. I am comforted, not challenged, excited, because it paints a picture of a future that'll help us patiently dwell in the now.
Beautifully said.
So thanks all, y'all, as we say down here in Arkansas.
All works better, y'all. Doll.
Thank you.
So anything you want us to know?
I'd like to share that I am present to the frequency of the miraculous, which is in partnership with Paradise. And in our group, we touched on this group. There is such a spectrum, a range that just came together. And that is paradise. To be able to hear and experience the beauty of each one and all with is a very deep register of hope for all.
I think from now on,
Here.
I think from now on we use the word all, that whoever uses it needs to, this is not from me. We have another person, another being here that some of you know. So you'll know when I say.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it's a no. So you'll know when I say what I'm about to say, who it is. Because the recommendation is that when you all say all, that you, with a great ecstasy, stand up and tear off all your clothes. That's his request.
Yeah, figured it was him.
Those who don't know, his name is Tobias. And several people on this call remember when, and first of all, just to give a little history. So I wasn't able to be individuated for a long time. And so one of the ways that I communicated was having 3 separate collective consciousness talk. One was Ariel, one was the guardian, and one was Tobias. And Tobias was the only one that had ever incarnated. And oh my goodness, let's just say he died of syphilis, if you want my drift. And not to be shocking, and what might occur is a spiritual moment, which is not really where Tantra plays. I'm much more into being inspirited rather than being Om-based spiritual all the time, although I do have the Om-based spirituality too. So he hasn't been around much. He only comes in when he can gather a collective, see if I can get his words. All right, here's Tobias. So for Tobias, his interest is the restoration of money and its direct relationship with creation, restoring that relationship. And talk about metacognition. Imagine what it would be like if we were metacognitive and outside the boundaries of what we have been inundated to think money represents, what it does and what it lets us have. So the fact that Tobias was attracted to the field, which is usually the only way I know he's attracted to the field, if something lewd occurs in my thought plane, in my perceptive speaking. But the only reason he would make himself known is if we had given him juice for him to use, and juice is indivisible. It's not a juice for something. It's the juice of creation itself for what we could call his project. You know, the Mimsey's project, if you want to call it that, is establishing a metacognitive relationship with human beings that find themselves operating on behalf of all life, find themselves discovering themselves as part of everything, in relationship with everything, and operating on behalf of all life. So even out beyond us as human beings, everything has a sector, everything has a territory, because you can't interact with duality without it. There wouldn't be any interest. Like people who die so they can go to heaven. Well, we don't have any idea when we don't have a body. Our experience of paradise, I would recommend, it lives in our sensory, intelligent, dimensional playing field while we're here. I mean, for all we know, we blip out and it's oblivion. And the only reason we know it's not is we have a sense of other lives and other experiences, except for the fact, what if they're all reciprocal and all simultaneous? How about that? For a twister. Okay, anyone else? See, my problem is I can hear you all thinking and not sharing.
Well, you say somehow did we have the juice for his project? Did I hear you?
Tobias, Sarah, not me.
Or
Thank you.
Tobias? I'm not. I know it's not about you.
Ask
Okay.
Tobias, Sarah.
Tobias.
Not right now.
Oh, not out. Okay.
So are we complete? Go like that if you're complete. And if you're not complete, I recommend that you share. Okay, great. Hi, Kaya, dead of morning. Who
Yeah, I'm pretty drifty, I have to say. I've been in the expanded field of this call.
Kaya's in Glastonbury, England. And let's see, we have let's see, I think everybody else. Tosh, what time is it where you are, if you're still available for comment?
It's nearly 11 a.m.
Yeah.
But I've been going since 1 a.m. So but I actually feel a bit alert now. So yeah, but it's been amazing. What a magical ride to be here with everybody and the Mimsies. It's very precious.
And
Yay.
Yay. And Megan, who you see her name on the screen, she's also from Australia. So and Praline, she's from Africa. So and Anne is from Ireland. And let's see, I think that's and where are you from?
Ireland.
Oh.
I'm Margaret. I met you.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
I'm great.
And lovely to see a few faces that I met when you were in Ireland. But I've been quite in the background, but it's been lovely to reconnect.
I agree. I agree. And what time is it there?
It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning.
Great. Great. Beautiful. It's really great to see you again. I just didn't remember your name right away. But I
Mairead, Margaret.
Yeah, Mairead. I have better time with that, but I recognize the face.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we're completing.
Laura, who's in?
Laura, where are you?
She's in Trinidad if she's not able to speak. Laura?
Grateful to be here from Trinidad. And to be
actually tell them where you really are. I mean, in Trinidad, like, United States. I'm from New Mexico. Where are you?
Cuba, Trinidad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not the Pongo, Trinidad.
Yeah. Actually, the really cool thing about this little teeny place she's from is they have what's called a mud volcano, which is kind of crazy. It's like the mudslides in California on steroids. It flows and flows and flows and flows and takes over everything in its path. So while not as hot as lava, although it might be hot, it's definitely thorough. It's definitely thorough. So, and the rest of us are stateside, I think.
Laura, how do you spell Cova? I want to look it up.
Couva. It's a town. We don't have states. It's a little town.
Couva. COU. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
Might you have a song that we could close on? It's hard to
like that. Go like that if you want a song, or how many of you just want to drop off? Okay, Tanta, we'll do her song. Hold on. It'll take me a minute. Smile at each other or go on off video, whatever works for you. I'll be right back. I know the song I want to play. I just got to find it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just give me a minute. And go ahead and mute yourselves. Okay. Hold on, we're getting there.
Can you see the deer? I don't know if I have this right. Can you see the deer? Yes, no? Anybody there?
Yes, yes, we can, Sarah. Let's.
Yes, yes.
That's one of my does. No, anyway, no, it's one of the boys, pals. That's Pal. He's eating birdseed. They're not picky around here.
Here we go. Trying to get it to play. Oh, there it is. Hold on a second. Why are you not playing? Well, hold on a second. It says it's playing. All right. There we go. All right, hold on a minute.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your
to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me
A million dreams, a million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
for the world we're gonna make.
So I've been asked to complete with us my song or our song. So this is a wee song. If I crack and start sobbing, just pretend like you're still listening to the song. How could anyone ever tell us we are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell us we are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that our living is a miracle, and we are the reflection of our soul? Thank you. Mwah.